everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Two World Podcast. You can see Jacob and I have brought props today. And if you're just listening, one of them is a ukulele, and the other one is
a guitar.
A guitar, yeah. So instead of introducing ourselves, personally, we're introducing our instruments today. I just had the chance to pick up the ukulele just a few weeks ago, and I've only tried it a few times. But I've always, maybe my first goal is to learn how to play the introduction music to our podcast. And Jacob was very, very kind to go ahead and just maybe walk me through it a little bit of how things get started. So let's see how it goes.
The main melody of the song has at least three notes in it to start with, a B, a E, and an A flat. And it goes B, E, A flat. And I think I told you before, when I play it, I play the B, but at the same time I play a B note as well, an octave higher at the same time. So it gives a little bit more depth. So and I do that with all three.
Yeah.
Bum, bum. And I have a strum pattern.
Oh, yeah.
So that first one, those three notes those are the notes, but then they're played with the kind of a strum pattern. And then the second part of the melody is almost exactly the same, except the third note is an A instead of an A flat. So it goes bum, bum, bum. And then it just goes back to the first one. B, E, A flat, then B, E, A. So are those notes, are you learning the notes on a uke? Can you play?
Yeah, I think that, so I've just been starting with chords. And so I'm not even sure, especially since I just have the 4 strings.
Okay. Can you tell me what your strings are?
So yeah, I have, A, E, C, and G. Unless I'm doing it backwards.
No, you're right.
E, C, yeah, A, E, C, G.
A, E, C, G. Okay. So on your A string, if you do the second fret, that's a B, I think, right?
Could be.
Let me see. Is this? Can I share my screen for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And so which one of those is the fat string? The G or the A?
I think the C. I mean, it seems to me like the C is you mean the thickest, which is the thickest one?
Yeah.
Yeah. C.
So a uke has, so on a guitar, for example, it goes from thickest string, the low E, all the way up to thinnest string, high E.
Yeah.
But on a ukulele, there's not a thickest to thinnest order. Is that right?
No. In fact, it seems like the thinnest are on the outside, and then the thicker ones.
This is blowing my mind. So so the C is the thickest, and then what is the second thickest?
E.
The E. Okay, that's fine. E. So if we're working with the E, let me see here. I'm trying to think of how to play that progression.
So I saw that they were offset by 4 notes is what I have seen. I'm not sure if that's right though.
Okay.
Or if I was interpreting it right.
So on your A string, what would happen if you played the second fret, and then the 7th fret, and then the 11th
sounds
fret.
Right. Yeah. 1 second.
So go 2, 7, 11.
Yeah, it's right. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
Can you hear
okay,
it? Yeah,
there it
that's
is.
exactly right.
That's
Yeah,
the melody.
Exactly right.
And so, and then the next part is then you go 2, 7, and then 12.
Okay.
Try that.
Sorry. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
yep. And then back to 2, 7, 11, and then 2, 7, 12. Yeah. Cool. So if you practice that, that can be the melody line, and then the chords when you do the first one, that da 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 with the A flat, that's when you have the E chord. Da da da. And when you do the next one, da da da, that's when you play the A chord. Then you go back to the first melody again. Da da E. Da da A. Da da E. A A A. Da da E. Da da A. Yeah. I think it'll sound real good. What you just have to get the elements. And when I do the chord change, it is actually at the beginning of each new at the beginning of the melody. So the E corresponds when you strike the chord with the start of the melody. Right. Bum bum bum. And then you go to the A when you start the next melody. Bum bum bum. Then back to E. Bum bum bum. And then the A. Bum bum bum. I'm sorry, what's that?
Does this sound like an A chord to you?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And can I hear your E?
I'm trying to find the E.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
I'm just that new.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have the chord chart up here. Do you want me to pull it back up again for you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. So it looks like that's the E.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Let's see. I saw that earlier, and I was trying to wrap my head around that one. Yeah. So it's the 2nd fret and then the 4th fret, right?
Yes.
Wait, I don't know if I'm doing this fingering right.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Right.
And can you do your A one more time?
The A chord?
Perfect. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So that'll be something to enjoy as you get more used to it.
Yeah. That's
yeah. So I love when you have on guitar, or I guess it could be on any instrument, but a very simple riff or melody line, and then you combine it with a rhythm guitar or a bass line behind it, and it comes together so beautifully. If you want to ever do a ukulele guitar collaboration, we could learn the piece. You could do one part, I could do the other. I don't know, it'd be kind of fun. You know the song American Pie, how for years and years it has had this special status of being on a top Billboard chart for so long. It was recently unseated by Taylor Swift in one of her songs. Really? It was really interesting. It's like had that status for like 40 years, and then there was some record that it held, and then one of Taylor Swift's songs recently, eclipsed it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, she like wrote Don McLean a letter, and there was a news story about how it was real nice how they acknowledged each other. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to do it that way. Yeah. I remember my one English teacher he had a poetry of song class, and he would talk about like the different lyrics and maybe the potential meanings there, and then you'll see YouTube videos about what they mean, and then I think Don McLean said, I'll auction off the real meaning of the song, and then it was a complete letdown. He's like, yeah, it's just kind of like an esoteric you know what commentary on how things were at that time. And we're like, wait a minute, people are like saying the Joker is a reference to who's that one singer who Bob Dylan, and they're saying when take about Buddy Holly and all this and all that, and he's like, oh no, it's just a commentary on the way things were at the time when I wrote the song. We're like, it was such an anticlimactic thing.
That is so interesting. I sometimes it seems like artists sense that there is such a lore that has evolved around their work that that they won't ever give an official interpretation. They're like, we like it to be open to interpretation by our fans, because they probably realize it's built up such a huge kind of legendary status.
Lore,
people have added so much meaning and commentary on the piece of art that they don't want to mess with that. They just want to let it be.
It's better that way. Like there's the Carly Simon one, the song where she's like kind of blasting like an ex-boyfriend or something, and I like, you probably think this song is about you, don't you, right? You're so vain, right? And then she has auctioned off initials of the person that it's about. But we still don't know exactly
interesting
who it was in her life that inspired that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating.
And
then talking about auctions and things like that, have you followed at all the development of these NFTs?
Oh yeah,
which is totally yet another phenomenon of like some what is it, essentially is it a certificate or some way to say that I have the digital original of some work?
Exactly. Yeah. Because I've thought about that too. Like I like to read books on Kindle, and then I think this is technically a first edition, but is it worth anything? But now with the NFTs, it really could be.
It's interesting idea, like kind of playing at the collector's ultimate sense of
well,
I have a certificate.
I know this image is available to everyone around the world, but I own it.
I don't know if you want to share anything about learning ukulele. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Or since we're our two worlds are coming together here.
For sure. Yeah, I know. I'm stepping into the world finally. I am a huge fan of Celtic and Scottish folk music, and for the longest time, I have wanted to get a mandolin, and I just love the way it sounds, and I knew going into it, I know that it's very hard to play. One of my favorite artists, Kate Wolf, she has since passed away a while ago, but she has a live recording from an evening in Austin, and she says she likes to tell her mandolin player joke, and she says mandolin players spend half their life tuning and the other half playing out of tune. And because I didn't realize that it's more similar to the violin, that it's fingering and notes more than chords.
Okay.
And so it must be hard to play. And I kept begging Ayako, can I get a mandolin? Can I get a mandolin? Like secondhand. And the ones that are available are they're called like the potato sack. Like they have the real curved back to them. So it's not flat like this, but it's just really like
Oh, yes,
distended.
yes.
And there are a number available, but they're just not in very good condition. And so she was reluctant to get one, because she thought then you have to get strings and then, get a case and get someone to kind of get it fixed up and ready to go. I think those are 10 strings, I think,
Wow.
for a mandolin. Yeah. And so I thought, okay, yeah, I guess that's it. That ship has sailed. And my coworker here, she plays the ukulele and really enjoys playing it. And I think that the way it went was she bought a new one, and she just saw it in the window and she's had to have it. And then she and I work the same day on Fridays, and then she came and she's like, Barney, I bought this new ukulele, and I didn't need to buy a new one, but it just looks so nice, and I bought it. And I mean, I know that my husband wouldn't really care, but do you want to start to learn to play the ukulele? Because I wouldn't feel so bad if I know that this ukulele that I've been playing for years is in someone's hands, and my husband doesn't see two ukuleles at home, one that isn't in use. And I said, that's amazing, because my New Year's resolution this year, this story took place in October. My New Year's resolution this year is to learn to play the mandolin. And I gave up on that, but I would love to learn how to play ukulele. And she said, oh, okay, I'll bring it next week. And she brought this, and she brought a book for beginners, and she brought a case and like a cloth and a strap and everything.
Wow,
and she's like,
amazing.
just here, take it. I was like, I really feel like I can't accept this. And she's like, no, it just makes me so happy to know that someone is using it. Cause she's like, I loved this one so much. And I didn't need a new one, but I really wanted the new one too. And so she was so glad to give it to someone who wanted to do it. And yeah, and I tried it out, just the first few chords that night. And I don't know any other way to explain it, but I said to her, it's just so peaceful to play the ukulele. Peaceful and comforting. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those comfort foods for musical instruments. It's so unintrusive and calm and mellow. And I haven't had the chance to play it too much. And I have it. My kids don't know that I have it. It's just really fun to just sit down and just try it. It's just, there's something really nice about it.
That's awesome. Wow, I didn't know that backstory. That is really neat to hear. For sure. It makes it all the more meaningful that it was this gift from a coworker who wanted to bequeath something she loves to you. I mean,
right. Yeah,
you're
really.
like carrying on bearing the torch of what she had, had used over the years. So that's really interesting. And I know we've talked before about other instruments that you've learned over the years,
right?
Piano being one. And I wonder if your kind of base of knowledge of music from them will help you.
Yeah, boy, I hope so. Yeah. And yeah, I did play. One reason why I wasn't so hesitant and felt like maybe I could get a hold of the mandolin is I did play violin for a little while when I was very young. And so I'm familiar with how fingering should go. And yeah, so I hope, but no matter what, this is the first time to ever try anything that has chords, instead of just notes. And I just hope that it's easy to kind of get the hang of, and to be able to eventually make my own kind of music out of it too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what emerges. And if you do create any songs or write any songs, I hope you'll share
Oh
them, and
yeah. Oh
maybe we
yeah.
could use
Maybe
them
here
in our
first.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. How
Uh,
was it that how was it that you got started with guitar?
well, I was really drawn to it at that time in my life. Uh, we were attending a church where guitar music was really prominent, and the pastor of that church gave free guitar lessons to anybody in the
Oh
church who
wow.
wanted to learn
Uh-huh.
in a group setting. So we'd all come
Oh
in with
nice.
a bunch of guitars and sit,
Uh-huh.
and then we would play songs together as a group that were played
Mm.
in our church. And they were simple. They taught us about basic chords and strumming patterns.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I remember going in and enjoying that. And then at the time I was in middle school, also my
Mm.
peers were listening to a lot of alternative rock, and the
Mm-hmm.
guitar has
Mm-hmm.
a prominent
Oh
role
yeah.
in that
Yeah.
music. And so um, that was also interesting to me. So I was trying to learn some of those songs, and then it really
Mm.
became a passion. Before that, I had learned trumpet, and I was not
Oh
passionate about
yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
It felt more like an obligation or a duty, and
Uh-huh.
I to practice was a little bit of a drag, and it shouldn't be that
Mm.
way, but that's how
Mm.
it was for
Mm-hmm.
me. And
Mm-hmm.
I probably had a poor attitude about it. But when it came to
Yeah.
guitar, I was passionate and excited, and so I wanted to learn and wanted to play with
Mm.
people and learn from them what they did, and
Yeah.
listen and practice on my own. And so it was a totally different experience.
Oh yeah.
And it has been that instrument over the years that I keep going back to, and in a number of public settings, I've been able to
Oh
play
yeah.
with people and enjoy it. Whereas in the past, playing trumpet in public, I
Mm.
would do it, but it was more nerve wracking. But guitar always felt like I could truly
Yeah.
um, enjoy myself and throw myself into it.
Yeah. And
So
I did cornet, which is, like
yes,
trumpet's, cousin or younger brother or something.
yes,
And you can't, when you practice, you can't go halfway,
right,
because since you
right.
have to buzz, your lips. So when you're practicing, you're
Ah,
really practicing and everybody can hear you. And so you really feel all the attention on you, even if it's just, at your house when you're practicing. And so that was one thing that I had trouble with cornet, because I thought,
oh,
I don't really like everyone hearing these wrong notes, you know.
oh, for sure. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like learning a musical instrument is really healthy for your brain. It makes
Mm.
new neural pathways. And
Mhm.
I feel like there's something about having a musical outlet when your
Mm.
mind is full and you're thinking about a lot of questions, to set it down for a little bit and to play an instrument. And then sometimes
Mm.
coming back to the questions, you have
Mhm.
a totally new insight, and somehow that different neural
Mm.
activity and
Mm.
that sense of giving some space to shift gears, it opens up actually
Mm.
some deeper understanding of this. It's
Mm.
fascinating. So I don't know if you've experienced that before, but
Yeah, I can see that. And even today, Yuma went to sleep pretty early, and I had free time, and I thought, well, what will I do? I could read a book, I could, look at some thing on my phone. And then I thought, well, why don't I just try the ukulele a little bit and see if I can get this figured out? And then I read through the email you sent me, and I was like, well, this is the E chord, but it doesn't quite seem right. And maybe there's something wrong. And then I was like, okay, I'll just go to the beginning of the book. And yeah, it's there's just something that you really get drawn to, with music, even if you're just getting started with it, right?
for sure. Yeah. Well, and the task and the fingerings and the
Mm,
the tension on the strings and how you hold
mm,
notes at the beginning can seem daunting, but
yeah.
then as you develop muscle memory, it's
Uh-huh. Yep.
encouraging, when
Mm-hmm.
things start
It really
flowing,
is. Yeah.
and you build that capacity
Mm-hmm.
over time. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if any of your children will be interested in learning an instrument at some point. Do you think?
Yeah, I wonder too. Because Ayako played piano for such a long time, and she's very good. And Yuma really likes singing, and he likes all different kinds of songs. When I was in Thailand, I had the chance to visit another person who was doing salt, and he was in Hong Kong. and he was actually under the guidance of someone who used to be an MCC in Vietnam at the time, and who was just working for the NGO in Hong Kong. And there was also a woman who was from Taiwan working in the same NGO there. And she and I were hanging out a bit, going around the town, and I noticed like this music that was getting played over and over. And I was like, what is this group? This is kind of really fun. And she's like, it's a group called Twins, and every Chinese New Year, they come out with a new song, and it kind of becomes the official anthem of that year. And I was there at Chinese New Year at that time, and I went, I got the CD, and then I've since put it, on like the Google Music, or I guess it's YouTube Music now, where you can back up all your songs. And we play it in the car, and Yuma likes a few of their songs, but this New Year's song, he loves it. And just today was raining cats and dogs, and they took me to the station, and he has this song on repeat. Actually, this is one of his things. When he gets a song that he likes, it's on repeat for a while. And he's awesome. He's in the back singing this song, which is in Cantonese.
My goodness. Wow.
And I mean, I can't say that he's singing it perfectly, but it sounds pretty close. Wow. And he's just amazing. Back there. I know. Singing these songs. Yeah,
that's amazing. So cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. Yeah. Well, as they get older too, probably you'll see new interests emerge. And I know for our middle child, Aubrey, she took piano lessons and liked it. But then she just kept asking about voice lessons. And so eventually we're like, yeah, why don't we do that? And so she's been taking voice lessons, and she's been really enjoying that. So
nice.
Sometimes they're drawn to certain things. Micah just recently started taking guitar lessons at school with Tim Shu, one of the music teachers there, and loves it too. And when he was younger, and Aubrey too, I taught them a few things on guitar, but it didn't really stick, or it wasn't something that they continue to be drawn to. But then when he came to this class at school, he loves it, and it's been really getting into it, which is neat.
Wow.
So, and Hannah is still probably figuring those things out, but she's taking piano lessons now. But it'll be interesting to see as she gets older if something captures her attention. But just as with your kids, I'm sure something will draw them. So music has played a role in our lives and in our faith and in our families. It's just such a huge topic. It's like, but it's interesting to just think about this particular piece today about you exploring a new instrument, and like being willing even to pick up something new, just to try something new is so healthy. And I commend you for that you continue to reach out and try new experiences and to grow. And I think that's really healthy. I hope I can learn a new instrument. That's a really good idea. So thanks for sharing about that. And for our viewers and listeners, I'm glad that they could be with us for a kind of informal just conversation about what's going on with us right now and with this music. And so I hope that they enjoyed that too. And maybe it will make them think about their own experience with music, and maybe some of them will want to learn a new instrument at some point, maybe even ukulele. You never know.
Why not? I know in Japan, people love Hawaii, so it's very easy to just find a ukulele, and they're not expensive. So I think in America, the kind of maybe the image is it's kind of like a toy, because it's just so small, that maybe some people don't necessarily take it so seriously, but it's fun, and it has a neat sound. But also, I'm no spring chicken, and I'm picking up a new instrument, so don't let your age tell you that you shouldn't try something new, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. Yes. So thanks everyone for listening and viewing today. And until next time, goodbye.
See you.